Ah, hijo.
$200, please.
Hijo, cóbramelos. Te compro una cena.
Ruby's maybe.
Mm-hmm. Everybody ready? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joe Gonzales, Bexar County District Attorney. Over 6.5 years ago, I ran for this office to make our community safer and our justice system more fair and efficient. It was true then, and even truer now, that the rule of law is under attack across our country. A two-tiered justice system is emerging, and those who need protection most have had the system weaponized against them. Here in Bexar County, we fought to keep our system of justice strong. We've resisted these attacks and promoted the rights of all members of our community. We've protected voting rights, civil rights, and human rights. And even when our efforts have fallen short of our ambition, we never turned our back on our duty to protect the public. Crime is down in Bexar County. We have had many accomplishments in the District Attorney's Office to be proud of. In 2024, we had the highest murder conviction rate of over 13 years. We've developed innovative ways to work with law enforcement to prosecute dangerous criminals. For the first time ever, we recreated an entirely paperless system for case filing. Efficiencies like these allow us to get violent offenders off the streets with the speed of our digital age. I've also worked to align our resources with our values. We doubled the staff of the Family Violence Division and made it its own standalone department. We created the Civil Rights Division because, as I've said from the very beginning, no one is above the law and everyone deserves its protections. And we have expanded access to pretrial diversion programs for prosecuting or offering these programs for low-level nonviolent offenders. This, in turn, allows us to focus on prosecuting criminals who pose the greatest threat to our safety. And it allows those nonviolent offenders a chance to rise above their lowest moments. After 6.5 years, I am immensely proud of the work that we've done. Anyone on my talented staff will tell you that it has not been easy, but doing the right thing rarely is. As I approach the end of my second term, I'm faced with a hard decision. This job demands the best that I can give it, but it also demands extraordinary patience from my family. They have been unbelievably supportive of my public service, and it's for that reason that I'm making the decision to now support them. This will be my last term. I won't be seeking re-election. It has been the privilege of a lifetime to serve as your district attorney. No job could be more rewarding than keeping our community safe. But I never did it alone. There are countless secretaries, paralegals, investigators, prosecutors, and 13 outstanding division chiefs who make this office run. Our successes are a direct reflection of their passion for justice. They work tirelessly behind the scenes, processing cases, supporting victims, and ensuring every detail is attended to. Yet, the truest measure of their success hides in the invisible miracles of what they prevent. Crimes that didn't happen because of swift prosecutions. Lives that didn't go down the wrong path thanks to restorative justice. The men and women who serve in my administration are heroes and public servants. I will always be grateful to them and to their commitment to our community. For the next 18 months, we will continue to prosecute dangerous offenders, keep Bexar County safe, and perform those invisible miracles. There is still much work to be done. Though we've made progress, we still have a backlog of cases. That's why I'll push the county for more funding in the upcoming budget cycle, funding that we will use to hopefully provide long overdue raises to our staff. My goal is to leave our next DA with a clean slate, but my successor, whoever that will be, will have his or her own set of challenges. That's why I'm making this announcement now. I want to clear the field for the most qualified candidates to mount their campaigns. My hope is for a competitive election where the best candidates rise to the top. It's up to us to make the right choice for the next district attorney of Bexar County. Today, I'm not saying goodbye, but I am saying thank you for the trust that you've placed in me, for the support you've shown this office, and for believing that justice belongs to everyone, not just the privileged few. We still have 18 months to continue to fight for what's right. I intend to make every one of those 18 months count. Thank you. Ahora en español. Como fiscal de distrito he decidido no correr nuevamente para una tercera vez. Hoy estoy anunciando que voy a dejar a otra persona que sea líder de esta oficina. Les quiero dar gracias a la comunidad. Es un gran honor y un placer haber sido el fiscal del distrito. Muchas gracias por todo. At this time, I'll take any questions that you may have.
What was the reaction from some staff members when you told them earlier this afternoon, and how is this impacting their future here?
Well, I mean, obviously, many of them are happy for my decision. Many of them are happy for the reasons that I've chosen to do this, which is for a very personal reason, to focus on my family. It's an end of an era. It was a good run. I come to work every day leading an office of over 550 people. I say all the time, this is the best job in the world. And the reason that I come to work every day is because of our staff, is because knowing that our staff comes to work to fight for what is right, fight for victims of crime. So the emotions have run the gamut, as you can imagine. I would hope that whoever the incoming DA will be will hold on to as many of our employees as possible. It is my hope that whoever ends up being the next DA, that we can create an easy transition to make it seamless so that he or she would be willing to keep as many of the staff as possible. You know, I did that when I first came in. I kept better than 90% of the staff that was already here when I came to office, and I hope to be able to do the same with the next DA. Antonio.
¿Qué es lo que más te llevas de satisfacción después de todo este tiempo al frente de tu oficina? Las convicciones que pudieron tener, ¿qué es lo que más te llenó en este tiempo?
El orgullo de ser líder de esta oficina, de trabajar con tanta gente que se enfocan a lo que es importante a esta comunidad, es a proteger las víctimas de crimen.
Mucha gente te criticó, y sabemos de eso, que te criticaba que no eras suficientemente duro en contra de criminales. ¿Qué le tienes que decir a esas personas ahora que ya dices que no vas a seguir?
No quiero comentar de eso. Vamos a mover positivamente, ¿verdad?, con esta situación. Yo sé que he tenido personas que han dicho eso, pero no vamos a hablar de esto. Es algo positivo que yo quiero comentar hoy. Ese es lo que quiero hacer, es seguir adelante.
Y en los 18 meses que te quedan todavía, que son muchos, año y medio, ¿qué es tu plan entonces?
para hacer todo posible para rebajar los casos que están atrasados, a continuar con el trabajo de asegurar el seguro de esta comunidad. Eso es lo que nos vamos a enfocarnos a ese trabajo.
Joe, what do you want your stamp to be on the Bexar County District Attorney's Office when you walk away in 18 months?
I'd like my legacy to be that I came into the office with the vision and the goal to make it more efficient, that we've done that. As I mentioned, we have now gone paperless, which is a huge benefit to the county. We improved areas like the Family Justice Center. We improved the Family Violence Division so that now we are contacting victims of crime even earlier. We're making prosecution decisions. And on the fairness side, I'm proud of the Civil Rights Division that I've mentioned before. It's so important to me. I'm proud of the fact that our prosecutors have embraced the notion of restorative justice and giving people that deserve a second chance just that. That's the basis of restorative justice for those individuals that deserve it. Now, make no mistake about it, we hold accountable those people that commit violent crimes. As I mentioned before, we've had the highest murder conviction rate last year than we had in the last 13 years, better than 80%. So we hold people accountable that commit violent crimes. But that's what I'd like this legacy to be, that we made every effort to improve the office. Of course, not everything worked. We had to make some adjustments, but for the most part, I would like to think that we made a difference when we came in here.
Joe, would any of the past kind of controversies being with, the backlog in cases that we covered, we talked to you about, to the rent collective, was that anything that weighed on you to also not seek re-election? Because I felt like sometimes there was more things happening than successes.
Not at all. I made my decision is based on wanting to spend more time with my family. Those issues were nothing more than distractions. People that are supportive of our office and know what we do understood that was nothing more than sound bites and bait clicks, and that doesn't factor in to my decision to spend time with my family.
So what's next for you?
Well, right now I'm going to focus on continuing to do the good work that we do in the DA's office. We're going to continue, as I say, to try and get the backlog down. We're going to continue to work on trying to get more funding. The challenge continues to be our lack of resources. The fact that we're right about 30 prosecutors down because they keep leaving for jobs in smaller counties for better pay. I don't blame somebody for leaving for $30,000 more a year to work in a county that has less of a docket, so there's less stress and more money. So that's one of the challenges in the office, and we'll continue to work on trying to improve that. We hope that we continue to draw interest in the community, to have people come and work for us, but we have our hands full continuing to work. And again, this is business as usual. I'm not walking out the door. We're going to continue to work for the next year and a half. I just wanted to make sure that people understood, again, because there have been so many inquiries out there about my fundraising plans. To be fair to my supporters, I want them to be able to support other people that have an interest in running for this office. So that's why I came forward when I did.
In the next 18 months, Joe, I know you had a lawsuit that was filed against the Attorney General's office. We've seen the legislature pass some bail reform. Is that something that you are going to continue to fight against?
Well, I fought for certain measures for bail reform. I've said for a long time that bail reform is in dire need. The bail bond system is in dire need of reform. So there are some measures that I think are heading in the right direction. But a lot of the problems can be solved locally. I think some of the measures that the governor proposed were extreme. And so I'm going to continue to be active with legislation in Austin with regard to bail reform and other issues.
Dijiste algo al principio en inglés. Creo que era algo como que nowadays the judicial system might be under some sort of
Attack.
Exactly. So, ¿qué quieres decir por eso? ¿Qué estás viendo ahorita en el sistema judicial, ¿qué es lo que está pasando? ¿Qué es lo que tú ves?
Pues hemos visto, ¿verdad?, cómo están arrestando a los inmigrantes en el trabajo, en las escuelas, y los están deportando. No, nada de eso es justo. Ese es el ataque de nuestra comunidad y de la justicia que nosotros hemos visto. Y esa es precisamente la razón que tenemos que luchar adelante, porque eso no es justo, ¿verdad?, que hagan ese tipo de acciones.
Joe, your office has prosecuted a number of high-profile cases. Can you talk about some of those cases that you're most proud of?
Well, I mean, we certainly have a number of cases. The one that comes to mind is finally resolving Janine Jones. That was a case that had been looming for years. Of course, Otis McCain was, well, I've said that I reserve the right to seek the death penalty only in the worst of the worst. Certainly that in my mind was one of the worst cases. And so that was a case where the jury did, where the defendant was subject to the death penalty. We have some current cases that are still unresolved, which is part of the reason we're going to continue to work for the next year and a half. We have several officer-involved shootings that I want to see to the end. Hopefully they will reach resolution before I finish my term. So there are a number of cases. Certainly anytime we have a victim of crime and we have next of kin that has survived a murder, we want to bring them justice. You know, in the last 6 months or so, we've had a number of cases where we've had large verdicts, 70-year verdicts, life sentences. And so that's the stuff that you rarely hear about, because that's not, that draws the attention of the 10 o'clock news. But we do good work in our office, and we're going to continue to do the everyday work of seeking justice and holding offenders accountable, even though they may not be sexy enough to make the 10 o'clock news.
I know you have 18 months left, but what is your message to those victims' families that may be nervous with the potential of the new district attorney and the change that's coming?
Well, I would say take solace in the fact that we still have a year and a half to do the work that we're doing, that we're going to continue to work hard on their cases, and that is my hope that we can make an easy transition of my successor. It is my hope that whoever ends up in this position, we can work with to hand over the cases that we are working on so that justice is not delayed, so that we can go to court and we can resolve those cases in a timely fashion.
Joe, Manzanos tuvo hoy una conferencia de prensa donde él pidió casi disculpas porque él dijo que en el asesinato de Joss, el señor que no había habido un crimen de preferencia sexual. Hoy Manzano sale y dice, no debería haber dicho eso. Eso es algo que va a resolver la oficina del fiscal. ¿Eso es cierto? ¿A ustedes les va a tocar determinar si fue un crimen de odio o no? ¿Me puedes aclarar?
Así es. Nosotros hacemos esos tipos de decisiones. La cosa es, con el caso como ese, la persona ya está enfrentando el máximo castigo de la cadena perpetua. Y no hay ventaja acusarlo de un caso de odio, porque no aumenta el castigo. Y esa es la cosa, es que para hoy, como le digo, está enfrentando el máximo castigo.
Can you repeat that in English?
Sure. He's at,
Nada más. Entonces, ¿tu oficina no agregaría el cargo de odio?
pues puede ser que sí, depende en los hechos del caso. No les quiero decir que no, pero tenemos que esperar hasta que archiven el caso con nosotros, okay? Look, what he's asking about is the Jonathan Gonzales case, whether or not we intend to charge it as a hate crime. Certainly this case is too premature to make that decision. The crime just happened last weekend, so it's going to take some time for law enforcement to fully and thoroughly investigate, and then when their investigation is complete, they will file it in our office. The point I was trying to make is the man is already facing the maximum punishment being charged with murder, and that is a maximum of 99 years to life. There is no advantage to alleging a hate crime because it's already at a first degree. In other words, you can't get higher than a life sentence or higher than 99. The only advantage would be is if, for example, a grand jury, I'm sorry, not a grand jury, but a regular jury, a petit jury as we call, would find him guilty of not a first degree, but a second degree. And in that case, we could ask for a first degree punishment on a second degree conviction. So we'll certainly keep our options open when the case is filed with us. It may be that we still allege a hate crime. And so I'm not closing the door on the possibility of alleging hate crime as an enhancement in this case, but we know right now he's already facing maximum punishment.
I know after the 18 years is, you're stepping aside, but are you gonna still practice law, or are we still gonna see you around the courthouse?
Well, I hope it's 18 months and not 18 years.
Sorry, 18 months, my bad.
It's too early to tell what I'm going to do after I leave office. As I say, I'm going to focus on finishing, what we started and leaving a clean slate for the next DA. But I will tell you, I have several options open, and I say all the time, I'm 66 years, and most times I feel like I'm 46. So I still have some energy left. I still believe that I can continue to work. But it's time for me to do something different. It's time for me to pass the baton to somebody else and let somebody else take over. So, and again, I want to leave on a positive note. I will remind you that I had 2 different elections when I first ran and defeated my opponent decisively, both on the Democratic and Republican side. And then for re-election, again, I defeated my Republican opponent decisively. I want to leave on a high note. And so that's why I'm doing it now. That's why I'm doing it early. I'm giving anybody who's got an interest in running for this office an opportunity to apply for an open seat. I'm not in the way. I'm going to step aside. I'm going to give them an opportunity to convince the citizens of Bexar County whether or not they're qualified to run this huge office. It's easier from the outside looking in. It's not until you actually sit in my office and sit in my chair that you realize how difficult this job is.
Has your office ever successfully prosecuted hate crime? Is that something y'all often are seeing, or something more rare?
Actually, it's very rare. In the 6.5 years that I've been the DA, there's only one case that I recall that even remotely involved a hate crime. That was an individual that died, a victim that was on the Riverwalk, and the allegation was the defendant pushed a member of the LGBTQ community into the water, and that individual drowned. The problem is we had challenges in that case. For example, the victim could not swim. There was an issue about whether or not we can prove that the perpetrator actually pushed him in the water. That's the only time in the 6.5 years that I've been at the helm of this office that I can even remember a hate crime being filed in our office. So yes, it is very rare.
And the Joss case has pulled national attention here to Bexar County. Are you feeling any pressure from any community about this?
Not at all. At this point, our response is the case hasn't been filed, so there isn't anything for me to do just yet. So we'll wait. What I've been telling members of the media, and I have been reached out by national media, is to please wait and be patient. Let law enforcement do their job, and when they file the case in our office, then we'll make the appropriate charging decisions, including potentially charging a hate crime if the evidence is there. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you for your cooperation during my entire tenure, and we still have a 1.5 years to go.
18 years.
Not in 18 years. Definitely not 18 years.